Hello everyone, my name is Savoy Wilson with ClickPro, and I am going to go over the index program that we are offering. And this is a training program to teach you how to be an independent network data expert. This is someone who can provide technical support for small businesses. So I'm going to explain. This is the introductory portion of the module, lesson 1.1, which is what is an independent data network expert. Now, an independent data network expert is a professional who specializes in creating, managing, and maintaining networks for small businesses. Small businesses often lack the resources for an in-house IT team, making the index a critical partner in ensuring their technology infrastructure runs smoothly. Index professionals provide reliable, secure, and scalable solutions tailored to the unique needs for small businesses. Now, why do I say small business? Now, a small business, according to the U.S. Small Business Administration, there are 33 million small businesses in the United States, accounting for 99.9% of all businesses as of 2023. Unlike large enterprises, small businesses often operate on tight budgets and require cost-effective, efficient solutions. There's less competition. There's many IT providers who focus on larger corporations, leaving small businesses underserved. This niche creates ample opportunity for index professionals. Small business networks often require straightforward setups and maintenance. These systems are less complex compared to large enterprise networks, making them easier to manage while still providing valuable services to clients. So these are not really complex setups that you'd have to be installing and managing. And that's why I'm suggesting, if this is something that you'd be interested in, if you have a technical aptitude for, this is what I'm suggesting. You might want to move into doing this as a career. Now, what is the market for technical support? The global technical support services market is substantial and growing. In 2023, it was valued at approximately $66.3 billion, with projections to reach $111 billion by 2030, indicating a compound annual growth rate of 5.3%. But focusing on the United States, the customer technical support services market was estimated at $9.34 billion in 2024 and is expected to grow at a rate of 7.69%, reaching approximately $13.53 billion by 2029. So there's a lot of money changing hands in this. Now, I know when people start thinking about technical support, one of the first things I hear people respond is, "Oh, there's overseas competition for that." Well, the reason why I bring this particular topic up, also with doing this with small businesses, is that there really isn't technical support competition from overseas with what I'm suggesting, because a lot of times you have to be there. You have to physically be there to do and deal with these clients, and I'll go over some of these reasons why. A lot of small businesses prefer a local tech support person. They want somebody who's close by, who's in the neighborhood, who can just drive over if necessary. They have business critical systems that they're running. They, for example, like an import-export company, they have a ship come in and they need to make sure that their systems are working, and that they will return the services of somebody like yourself to be on call in case they have a technical support issue. And so, somebody in another country isn't going to be able to help with them with that. So you're gonna be there. You're gonna be local, and that is a benefit to you for these particular clients. They also need regular on-site support, so they need somebody who's there to reboot computers, to install, upgrade servers, to install their cabling or their Wi-Fi, or reset things. Occasionally, you need to be there. I don't have to be at my clients for the most part. 80% of the time, I don't, but there are times when I do need to be there, and so they like to have somebody local. They want somebody who's down the street and close by. Okay. Number 3 is familiarity with local regulations and practices. You know the local laws, the local requirements and things like that. You understand the local area, so when you have a certain region that you're working in, you're going to be an expert at that region. You're going to know what's going on. You're going to be able to sit there and yada yada with your clients more than somebody who's in another country. People want timely response to emergencies. Like I said, you have a client who has a 24/7 operation and you're providing technical support for them. They're going to want to be able to reach somebody in their time zone when they're up and operational. and somebody who's close by again is optimal. Cultural and communication alignment. Small businesses value clear, culturally aligned communication. Local professionals often understand the nuances of their clients' operations and expectations better than overseas providers. Okay, customization and relationship building. Index professionals, that's the acronym I'm using, Index. Professionals can tailor solutions to specific needs of each client and build long-term relationships through regular check-ins and proactive services. There's nothing better than showing up to your clients. You should show up to your clients every now and then, and just find out what their pain points are, find out what's going on, what you can do to make things better for them. Just showing up and checking. It's important to be able to check things like servers, because there's certain indicators or warning lights, for example, on a server that you wouldn't be able to see remotely unless you were looking at those diagnostic logs. But you can walk into an office, and I can't tell you, I got a whole stack of hard drives over there that I picked up from different offices just from being there and walking in and seeing an indicator of some sort that something was going wrong. And it's important to be able to catch those things before they get really bad. So being on site and being able to show up at your clients is great for you. It's also great for when it's time for them to upgrade, or you need to upsell, or something, another service or something that comes along. So it's important to be able to be there. Reputation and word of mouth referrals. Local clients are more likely to recommend an index to other small businesses in the area, creating a network of opportunities that is difficult for overseas competitors to tap into. So I go and I go to a client, I'm sitting there, I'm working on something, installing something or whatever, and they see me or see my van or see my tools. It's been many times where it's been like, hey, can you come over here and take a look at my stuff, type of thing as well. Trust in local security practices. This is huge, and I can tell you, it might be the fact that people only call me when something goes wrong. It might be that, but I can't tell you how many times I've heard stories of, having people who have had overseas technical support, and the two things that I've seen happen is the bait and switch, where they say somebody offered to build an app for somebody, for example. They go to work on that app and they say, okay, it's going to take 6 months or whatever, and they're going to charge them $30,000 or whatever number of dollars to do it. And then what happens is they say that, and what happens is there's all of a sudden, once you've paid them or started to pay them money, all of a sudden there's some kind of communication problems. The application that they're trying to build just gets dragged out, and the next thing you know, that 6 month thing ends up taking like years to do, and it ends up costing millions of dollars. I've seen that actually happen. Somebody said they were going to build an app for them in 6 months, and the 6 months goes by and there's excuses and this and this and that, and I didn't know you mean that, or whatever type of thing happens, and as it turns out, they were just dragging the thing out for a long period of time. And I have seen people dragging them out for six years, and then when you look at it as somebody who knows better, and I go and look at it and I see it's not something that should have been taken that long at all. And it's like and we can get into that at some other in another module, but there are very simple ways to build apps for people nowadays, and and you don't need to be dragging stuff out like that. So I've seen the bait and switch. I've seen people overseas log into people's systems and start downloading random software and end up infecting their computers and their networks with viruses and things like that. So I've seen that happen as well. So you got to be really careful with that. Okay. So the benefits, I'll go over the benefits list of becoming an index. And so the first one is multiple streams of income is what I would bring up. And with this program, you're not going to just have one client. You're going to have multiple clients. I'm recommending you have 5 to 10 clients, and who pay you small sums of money, small to them and small, and it's going to be a lot to you when it adds up, because the customers are going to pay you. If you have for your managed clients, they're going to pay you, $1,000, $2,000, maybe up to $5,000 per client. So what I'm suggesting is that you go and you just get a number of clients and you spread out your income. So if one of your clients comes or goes or what have you, you can still march on. You can replace that client or what have you. So when you have a job and you're working a regular job, you only have one stream of income. You have that stream of income, and that's it. Your whole fate of your financial fate is dependent upon that job and that one manager or that one person, and that's it. If that's gone, that's it. You get nothing. Okay. So with this, you have multiple streams of income. You have more security in this than you might be expecting, because you don't have to be so concerned about one particular stream of income. You should be concerned about it, but you don't have to be so worried. You can lose part of your income if you lose a client for whatever reason, not all of it. Flexible work hours is number 2, so you can set your own schedule. You can work when you want to, essentially. Now, this is technical support, so you fix something for somebody. You're going to work on something. You're going to work on it until it's fixed. And so that means, if that means 2 hours, then that means 2 hours. If it means 8 hours, then it means 8 hours. But you work until it's complete. And so you have to have your rates commiserate with that and keeping that in mind. And you're going to be charging people more money per hour than you would working a job. And so, for example, you can have a set price for things. You can say, okay, I'm going to fix computers. People say, okay, I need this computer fixed. You can just tell them, okay, it's $250 or whatever to fix that, or what have you. And when you get good at it, when you become efficient, you become really good at it, then you're going to be able to gauge how long it's going to take you to fix something, and then you can set your rates based on that. So you say, okay, I know it's going to take me an hour to fix this computer, and when somebody asks you to do something, you just say $250, okay? And let's say you make $250 a day right now at your job. So you can go out there, you can fix it in an hour. You go there, you fix it, you charge them $250, they give you the $250, and you take the rest of the day off if you want to do that. So you can just make that kind of money. Or you can have, set yourself up where you're having 3 or 4 appointments in a day to go stop by your 4 clients that you have, and you charge them $250 each time. So, by the way, whenever you're charging people, you're charging them for a service, and you're charging them for a value. The $250 or something like that you charge someone when they have a business and they have 10, 15, 20 employees, and they're all working, and say that the system is down or something's causing a huge amount of issues with productivity. $250 is going to be nothing when they're losing thousands of dollars per hour from things not working correctly. So you got to think about that. An attorney who's got some big cases going on, or has they can easily have 20 employees that are just sitting around when their server's down or their network's not working. And so they're $250, they're losing that every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes, because things aren't working. So you're gonna those are the types of clients that I'm going to be introducing you to, or suggesting that you have as people that you would add to your business. So there's that to consider. So you can make money that way. Okay. So the part about that, where that has to do with your flexible work hours, is that you can just go and you can tell them what time you're going to be there. I'm going to be there at 1:00. Okay. And you can be having breakfast, go in the gym, do whatever you want in the morning, and then you go to your 1:00 appointment, you make your $250, and then you take the rest of the day off. Or however you want to manage that. You have your managed systems, you can do your stuff at night. I do work after hours. I do work after hours, after they're off work or whatever. I might not be doing anything all day, and then after hours I go and manage update systems, or I do security patching or any type of stuff. I might do it after hours. It might take me 2 or 3 hours, and then I go home and that's it. So I might work 2-3 hours. When I make appointments, the appointments are all less than 4 hours, all of them. And so, but I'll explain how to do that. There's no cap on your income. I have consistently raised my rates every single year since I've been doing this. I've been doing it about 15 years, and I raise my rates all the time, commensurate with inflation. So when you're working a job, your income is going to be a little bit under inflation for the most part. Okay, if inflation is 4%, you might get a 3% raise. If inflation's 10%, which it has been, you're not going to get the 10% raise, right? You're going to get less than that. So when you're working a job, you're always going to feel like you're a little bit behind. And so that's why I'm recommending doing something that is a business, because when you're doing a business, you're going to be able to change your rates commensurate with inflation, and you're going to have justification for it. Because all you're going to say, and it's true, all your parts are going to cost more right now with this glut of inflation that's going to be coming through soon. Computers are going to cost more. Computers are going to cost more. Cables are going to cost more. Everything's going to cost more because of the inflationary pressures that will, if the certain administration puts into the policies they have in place, they are going to cause things to increase in price. And as a business owner, as a person who owns a business, you can justify the raising of your rates as well. Okay, so that's a way that you cannot cap your income. Your income's not capped, and you're not worried. You're not sitting there waiting for somebody to give you a raise or anything like that. You just raise your rates commensurate with inflation, which is the other point. Is this is the way you stay in front of inflation. Okay, this is how you beat inflation. So when your gas goes up, you're charging for that. When you're driving to work and back and forth, or commuting back and forth to work, you're paying for that gas. When you're doing this and you drive to somebody's business, you're charging them for the gas. So you are getting paid for driving, rather than just donating that money essentially to the gas companies to commute back and forth. So being in business is a way for you to beat inflation. And you can advance at your own on your own pace. When you're on your off time, you can go ahead and study. You want to go get those certifications and licenses and things like that, you can study on your own time. If you're used to making $250 in a day, and you can go out there, you can go out to somebody's business, you can fix a computer, fix their network, or do whatever, and charge them $250, and then you can just study all day. You can go to school, you can go to college or whatever. You can do that with this type of a career employment. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the 1.1 first part of this module. There's eight parts in the total module. By the end of the module, by the end of the 8th module, you're going to know everything that you need to know to do this for a living. And what I have learned is that you could take any technology. You could take Cisco. You could take Ubiquiti. You could take Netgear. Anyone you can imagine. HP. And there's an entire world inside of there that you can spend the rest of your life inside of Cisco. You can spend the rest of your life all in there, okay? But at the end of the day, when it comes down to working with a business and working with a client, there's only certain things you're going to be dealing with. You're going to be installing a router. You're going to be installing some cabling, a router, a switch. You're going to plug the computers. You're going to connect their printers, and they're going to be able to scan, and they're going to need to make phone calls. They're going to want video cameras. Right? They're going to want video cameras in there, and they're going to want access control. That's all you're ever going to see. And if you just learn, you can forget about learning the whole world and dipping into the matrix of everything. And you can just learn the things that I will show you, that at the end of the day, 99% of the people you come across, these are the things that you're going to need to know. So it's a way to shortcut all of that. You don't have to go through 15 years of learning that, oh, by the way, I only need to know these basic things about networking, and this is all I need to apply or understand to make money. Okay? And you do this, and the first time you do what I show you, I'm going to show you that very simply how to do this. And the first time you do it, and that first time somebody hands you that paycheck, that check with your name on it, you're going to trip, because you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Because that's what I do right now. And it's not that I'm not going to say it's easy, because it's not. You have to have a technical aptitude. This is not something that is going to work for you if you don't have a technical aptitude, if you don't have I feel like I was mechanically inclined in the first place, and I think that's why this came easy to me. So I'm not saying it's easy. It's going to take some learning if you don't know anything about it. And you do have to have technical aptitude to be successful at this. I mean, I will say that. Okay, if you have no interest in this, if you're an artist or something like that, this is not something that's going to work for you, period. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the introduction here. The total course that I'm going to be creating here has 8 different modules on it, and within those 8 modules, there's in-depth understanding of everything, of the most important parts you'll need to know to install and manage a computer network for a small business. Okay, so I'm generating a general interest list for in-depth training, and so I'm going to put a QR code over my shoulder, and you're going to be able to just fill out the forms, just your name, email address, and a brief description of your interest in this advanced training, and it'll get you first on the list. And the first few people I have on the list, we're going to have some bonuses for you there. So I'm going to create that. And as I'm building out the Skool platform for more in-depth, more advanced training. So that's it for now, and thank you so much for watching. You've watched the video this far, really appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next video.